Good evening, everyone. We're not even sure if we're,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
are
even sure if
live.
we're live. We are live. Hello, everybody. I know it's been a month, but we had life happen, so we haven't been able to get on. We've been doing a little bit of traveling and some little bit of tragedy in our group. Um, but tonight is the second episode of our self-love series. Before I get into that, I wanted to mention a little bit of something to all of you. And we are going to open a private Facebook group. We come on here to speak to all of you through this platform so that you would get to know us and know what we're about and what our mission is. However, we feel that in a private group, we can reach more of our audience because perhaps they choose to be more private, confidential, and it may be something that they may not want to share on a public Facebook group. So if you choose to be a part of our group, we will welcome you. We would love it to be towards life after trauma, life after adversity, life after crisis victims. As we are here, our platform is to help you learn. So we are a movement of cultivation. Our platform is to assist people of adversity, to cultivate self-esteem, leading to self-love by teaching them to believe that there is bigger and better life after their traumas. So this will be our last, well, it's not our last live. We'll still come on here and visit with you guys and talk about different topics. But when it comes to our actual demographics, the people that we want to reach, it will be in a more confidential atmosphere. So it will be, if you would like to be a part of it, I will send out invitations. And if you know of anyone that can use of our services, it doesn't necessarily have to be crisis, but someone that you feel has low self-esteem and is actually in need of self-love, that is what we are here for. Both of us are life coaches. Francie is having a little bit of technical difficulty. She will be joining us later on. Welcome to all that are watching. Send me a message. Let me know that you're on.
Yes, and welcome. And you are?
I am Lillian Maldonado. But it says it here. My name says exceptional Lillian.
Hola, mi gente. I am La Margarita, and welcome. And we are so enthused and we are so motivated to offer this platform to those climbing the mountain to learn what it is, the cultivation of self-love. And as Lillian said, it's good to have a private group, to have the safety net where we can all sit under the beautiful branches of a safety tree and learn all about who we are as we learn all this together, because every day is a learning day.
Absolutely. Hello, Jolivet. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. And basically, like I said, this is the series of self-love. And in case you don't recall our past lessons, I'm just going to touch back on some of the things we've talked about before. Self-love is important to living well. It influences who you pick up as a mate, the image you project at work, and how you cope with problems in your life. Why? Because once you have self-love, you have that confidence you need to walk with your head up and not care what anybody has to say. So today's episode is going to be 7 prescriptions for self-love. And the first one being, become mindful. People who have more self-love tend to know what they think, feel, and want. They are mindful of who they are, how they act, and on their knowledge rather than on what others want for them or think about them. That was a hard lesson to learn for me, especially coming from such a critical background. You know, my parents were very, very dedicated to the church, and everything was like, oh my God, que dirá la gente? So you grow up thinking that other people's opinions are so important and that they matter that you can't even live your life in a normal way. So you have to become mindful of who you are.
It's
Margarita?
it can be hard if you've never been there, and the road gets easier if you've been there, but then you lost your way. But I think the most important is when you value what you believe and you follow your desires without hurting anyone, you're being mindful. Um, Sometimes you're gonna flay back and forth like, oh, I don't want to upset someone, but if you do it with gratitude for life and kindness in your heart, it really doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. That's where the self-love continues to grow in you. You grow solid roots where everywhere you stand, you're planted firmly in your beliefs.
Absolutely. Welcome, Lily. Glad to have you here. We want to act on what you need rather than what you want. I'm going to give you an example of it, and then I'm going to give you the explanation for it. So, you know, when you're dating that guy that you know is no good for you, and you just happen to keep falling back into his clutches because nothing better comes along, or you're unsure of where you want to be, that is acting on what you want rather than what you need. You love yourself when you can turn away from something that feels good and exciting, because that's what it is. The booty call is good and exciting, but what you need is an automatic behavior pattern that tells you, no, that's my past. I'm too good for that. I love me and I'm moving forward. So that is
Because
an
you have to,
example.
and because
Go ahead.
you have to, you have to say the affirmations every day that, like me, I am the most important person in my life. Because if I don't consider myself important, how do I give value to my children? How do I give value to those around me? How do I put value in the decisions that I make? And that keeps you from skating backwards to where you were that didn't serve you then and will not serve you now.
Absolutely. Um, I have to say it's probably one of the hardest ones when teaching people, when guiding people to learn to love themselves. Falling back on old habits is the easiest. So it's probably the hardest thing to learn, is to remember to value yourself and not fall back into old patterns. Number 3, and if I'm speeding through these, please make comments. We love for you to interact with us. Practice good self-care. We're going to stop right there and we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So, I am Lillian. I already introduced myself. What do I do? I have a full-time job. And on the side, I have my own business from which I do bookkeeping, tax preparation, document preparation. I am a notary. I create jewelry. I have a jewelry business. I am a network marketer. So all of these things is that I work very hard, but I also play very hard. Margarita.
Hello, mi gente, la Margarita aquí, your gladiator guru. Who am I? I I just for the past 10 years I was a full-time caregiver. Um for almost 6 years to my husband who passed away 4 years ago, and then my mom who passed away 3.5 weeks ago. But in the interim of all that, I am a spiritual and creative healing life coach. I am a notary and a wedding officiant. I am a writer. I'm working on my fourth book as of now. I have some things in the works right now that I won't mention, but I also create organic products. Um, and those I'm very proud of as well, are my organic products. I am a proud co-host of Viva Café con Leche, my morning show every Tuesday and Thursday mornings, where we talk real talk about life, love, and laughter, and how they all have to blend in together to keep balance. And sometimes sex, because that's also very important for our joints. um, yeah, and we grow, we learn, we grow. We can start something, and it's okay if we decide it's no longer for us and take a different route. And I believe that the more you work, the harder you work, the harder you play, and that's a balanced life. And not hard by manual work, but put your mindset into creating things que te nacen, because if it comes from you, it will work for you.
Absolutely. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you on here. So, the reason that I took the step back is because prescription number 3 is practice good self care. So, as I stated, I work hard, but I play hard. And one of the descriptions that I did not give was that I am a world traveler. So, COVID has me with the brakes on right now, but travel is coming back with a vengeance. I did Las Vegas last week. I'm doing Dallas next week. Um, you will love yourself more when you take better care of your basic needs. People high in self love nourish themselves daily through healthy activities like sound nutrition, exercise, proper sleep, intimacy. Remember, it's good for the bones, and healthy social interactions.
Absolutely.
I I don't do all of those, but I do a lot of those. So, it's up to you. I love pampering myself. I'm very good to me. Um, I probably am getting pampered at least twice a week where I go and I have me time. So I may work 16-hour days, but then there's days that I take a half a day off, a half a spa day. I'm very good to me. So I never feel overwhelmed. I love what I do. I love the way that God has put me in a position to help other people. So it makes me happy and I feel fulfilled.
It's all good. Gratitude. You got to keep your faith
Absolutely.
that everything will work out fine. You got to keep hope that God will guide you, because what are we without God, right? And then you
Mhm.
have to, with the gratitude, then you can give, you can be kind. The kindness just pours from you. And first, we must be kind to ourselves, because a lot of us pour out and we don't refill ourselves. So thank you for that, because that was very important. Because it's okay to pamper oneself. It's okay to do other things you need to do for yourself, and then come home and cook for your family and clean, or go to work. And I don't understand why women believe that that's such a taboo. So thank you
Mm.
for sharing that, because a lot of
It's a
women won't.
necessity. It's a
It is.
necessity. Lily, you said always had what? Always had pampering? Always have to have a positive attitude. Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Otherwise, how do you draw people to you? You know how they say you get more with sugar than you do with vinegar? And I believe that. I believe that when you give from your heart and you're genuine, it draws more people to you. And the cause that I'm trying to create, this movement that we've begun, it's not for us. It's because God put us in a position to be able to help other people. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Lord Almighty. And we're moving forward with this. And we hope that you recommend anyone that you know, to our movement. You yourself join our movement. We would be so happy to have you. We may have you speak at one of the events. So it's not only for the actual people of trauma, but also if you are life coaches, if you are instructors of anything, if you can offer that grain of salt that you feel is going to help someone, please join us on this quest. We would love to have you. Prescription number 4, set boundaries. You'll love yourself more when you set limits. Set limits, or say no to work or love or activities that deplete or harm you physically. And that's what I stated before. It's not depleting me physically, it's fulfilling to me. So I love it. And people like, oh, she's working herself to death. No, I am completely at peace.
It's how you work it. You can fit anything in your schedule if you plan it correctly, or if you know what you're doing. Just like me, when I do my organic products, I do that in one day. So the rest of it's done. So you're absolutely right. And a positive attitude, we can't take one step forward without it. If we can't fix it, we shouldn't stress over it, right? When you send a prayer out to God and then worry, or you keep that negativity in you, nothing's happening. Palante.
So it's not,
boundaries. Talking more about boundaries. Boundaries is something
emotionally.
That all of the boundaries people have, I've encountered many people who they can't comprehend how to begin setting boundaries. They waited so long, or it's just like foreign to them. And I believe we must set our boundaries, and we don't lower the bar for no one. Because again, that falls into the self-care, leading into the self-love. That's the whole cultivation of compassion for oneself. You have to have those boundaries and walk always with your moral compass with you. Let it hold you accountable.
One of the things, when you don't set your boundaries, people tend to express poorly who you are. So if you don't set the boundaries, you're giving everyone an okay to walk all over you, to say, oh, she doesn't care, she's a doormat. Here we go. Welcome, Francia.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for waiting. Thank you.
And what happens when you begin setting your boundaries? What happens? People get angry with you.
Yeah, you start to lose the unhealthy, the toxic.
You didn't need in the first place. Absolutely. So
exactly.
Don't be afraid to set them, because you might lose people, because that is what the universe is telling you to do. Every spring we purge. We do spring cleaning. That has to happen in our lives as well. Not material stuff. You have to do spring cleaning, purging spiritually, emotionally, so that physically you're ready for summer, for all the summer activities.
When you start to set boundaries, and these are experiences I have, in general, when you start to self-love and you start to act on what you want rather than what you need, when you practice good self-care and you start to set boundaries, watch out. Like she said, we're removing toxic people. And unfortunately, some of the toxic people may be your own family. Because as you're learning self-love, you're starting to grow as a person. Your growth will bother the ones that don't want to grow. So this is so important. And I go back to number one. Stop caring what people think about you, because you are walking in your purpose when you start to lose friends, family members that don't want to see you grow.
Very
Don't
true.
forget that. Hello, Janet. Welcome.
Yes, it's like, when you set boundaries and you start losing people, they get angry with you because they can't get over it with you. It's the same thing like with our goals. It's like, do not share your goals with people with no vision, because they'll try to tear you down.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we
They'll
have to set.
they'll project their inability to do something.
Absolutely. But sometimes we need to say it to certain people just to have that check mark, like, oh, this is one that I need to remove myself from. Not cut them off, but remove yourself for your growth.
Yes.
Because family's family, but that you're not going to go to every event, because you're on a mission, and that's how we got to focus. We have X amount of days in our lives, and what do we have to get done in it, and get it done. And that's where the self-love comes in.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that life is the circle of life. We are born to die, and it's what happens in the middle that counts. So we have to light that fire under our ass and get to popping.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
Lily
like
says,
now, go ahead.
Lily says, I used to be like that, never set boundaries, always try to help people, especially family. But when you become a doormat and everybody takes advantage of you, so I decided now an emergency on your side is not my emergency. You do this to them, people get mad at you.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Oh, well.
And I was a people pleaser. Always have been. But now, especially with you ladies on my corner, it's like, learn how to say no. They up front. Because if you say yes, and then you try to switch it on them, or something does come up, or something, is why, oh my God, so learn how to say no from the beginning. If it doesn't benefit you, if you don't have the time, if you honestly look in your calendar and say, don't break yourself in so many pieces where you're going to disappoint people and yourself.
That's
so
being authentic. If you're authentic with yourself, you'll know to say, that's your issue, not mine, and I'm sorry, I can't do it today.
Yeah.
Or I can't be a part of that.
Yeah.
And if they get angry with you, then that they're not respecting you. And respect should be demanded. We need to demand respect for the person we are, the person from where we came from, where we are today, and how we're going to grow tomorrow. Yeah. Respect. We need to have self-respect. And you know what? It's like my motto. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I drink coffee. So
screw them.
Yes. Because I'm not here to please. I'll be kind to you. Everybody I meet, I give an A until they fuck it up. So I'll be kind to you, but I'm going to observe you as you should do me, because not everybody is going to mesh. But I think that if you stay authentic to who you are and be grateful for the people you meet and carry kindness in your heart, the universe will provide, and God will let you know who's who and who's not who. It's all about being observant in your life. You have to be.
And they will start dropping like flies. Dropping like flies. And I'm grateful I don't ask why. I mean, at first you do, you're like, well, why and that, and you try because it's in you, and you're like, but
Pero
when
¿qué pasó? ¿Qué hice?
Right, like it wasn't me. Oh my God! But no, it was because they weren't meant to be in your life. They were not meant to go with where you're going. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What's the next one, though?
The next one, though?
What number am I on? I lost my train of thought.
We were on boundaries.
Okay, number 5. Yes. Number 5, ladies. You see, even on a live, you can mess up. Who cares? So number 5 is protect yourself.
Yes.
So You want to bring the right people into your life. It piggybacks off the one we just spoke about, boundaries. I love the term frenemies. So that I learned from my younger clients. It describes some of the type of friends who take pleasure in your pain and loss rather than in your happiness and success.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
Those are the
my,
worst to have around you.
my suggestion to you here, get rid of them. There isn't enough time in your life to waste on people who want to take away the sunshine on your face. That says,
Sacude.
I genuinely love myself and my life. You will love and respect yourself more. Hey,
Yes.
Brenda, welcome, welcome.
Sacude.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
that's like I mean, there's so many
Yes,
refranes
we
we
just
can
had a whole
use for
conversation.
that.
It piggybacks right off of boundaries.
And it's like, that light at some point has to come on. We The bottom line is, as women progressing and coming into what's rightfully ours, we cannot continue to burn the candle at both ends and then sit there like, woe is me. We have to say no mas, and who am I, and what do I want out of this one life that I've been given, and empower ourselves through the cultivation of self-love and self-trust.
Yes. And this is
Okay.
amazing. Again, great steps and in great order, because you set those boundaries. And even me at the time, and I'm speaking of a certain situation, but at the time I was like, why? And but it was me setting boundaries. It was me saying, no, I can't do it. And the person couldn't take it. So now protecting yourself is also saying, no, don't let them back in if they want to come back. Or continue to keep that person away because they left for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So protect your right, your circle, your energy, and continue. And then once you acknowledge that was boundaries that you were setting, protect those boundaries.
You have to, but be grateful. See,
Yes,
because
always.
let's say if it was a non-abusive relationship that we're no longer in, and we sometimes, I believe in the poem Reason, Season, Lifetime. People come into your life for a reason, and sometimes they come and hurt you enough to wake you up and propel you to your greatness. Sometimes those wounds don't cut so deep, but they hurt. But then you sit there, you're like, what am I going to do now? And then before you know it, you're living the life that you didn't even know you wanted because of where you were. And today you're successful. And sometimes it comes from where we were yesterday, that like sparked something in us to say, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm better than this. And it's still the self-love and the self-trust, because something becomes shaken awake within us with that. Doesn't mean you got to return. Doesn't mean you ever got to talk to them. It could be cordial, but it's like there's no mistakes in life. And I believe that because I believe that everything happens as it should. And so the pain, to me, it's always made me stronger. But for those who don't know how to navigate out of it, this is why the movement of cultivation is to be born. It's being born. We already gave birth, right?
Absolutely.
Now it's about raising it.
Absolutely.
But it's about never
cultivating
telling
it.
yourself you were stupid for what you did yesterday. You're only held accountable for what you're doing today. So let's make today great.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Love it. Respect, respect, respect. Protect yourself. Do you want to move on to the next one, or you want to keep touching on that one?
I'm going to move on to the next one, number 6, because this one is really, really, well, I said that about another one, but this one is hard. Like, I feel that until this happens, people can't really move on. And this one is forgive yourself.
Yes.
Forgive yourself. We humans can be so hard on ourselves. The downside of taking responsibility for our actions is punishing ourselves too much for mistakes and learning and growing from them. You have to accept your humanness, the fact that we are not perfect. We have to learn that we are not perfect. We are going to make mistakes in all aspects of life. And
That
we
is a
have to
hard one,
learn
Lily.
to forgive
Lily says
ourselves.
that's a hard one.
Well,
We
because
have to learn to
remember,
forgive ourselves.
forgiveness, it goes back. Forgiveness takes courage. To let go of something will take a lifetime, depending how deep it was or who it was. Forgiveness takes courage, right? Forgetting
Yeah.
takes a lifetime, and letting go takes wisdom that you have gained because of what happened. And and
Yes.
I think that forgiving yourself is very, very hard, but to let it go and not let it creep up into your thoughts, that's something that, yeah, that's where, fuck a philosopher, you're a sage at that point.
Yeah.
Because remember, what's in yesterday cannot hurt you as to what you're doing today, which would be holding on and not forgiving yourself. So whatever happened, lo que pasó pasó. Today we have to say, I'm sorry, you know, and
Yes.
work on it. Let it be an affirmation until you feel it in your core that you
Hmm.
are okay with where you came from, what you did, what you've said, and where you're standing right now. And
That's so
to
true.
forget, no, to forget, it's, that's just like a song that from the 90s, like Lisa will pop up, and then you're gonna remember one night and what you had on and what you were doing, because that's how I do it. So
Yeah.
sometimes something's gonna
Yeah.
trigger you, right? But if you forgive yourself and then those triggers come, it's not as painful, it's not as
Yes.
harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know if I want to say parent, if it's harder for parents. Um, I know, being a mother at 14 was super hard for me. So there's times like me and my son absolutely adore each other now. Well, I've always adored him, but there were things that I didn't do right. And sometimes you think about them and sometimes you cry. But I have honestly forgiven myself because I did the best that I could with what was within me, with what I had. I didn't know any better. So you can think about things and sometimes you feel a little bit guilty, but you have to forgive yourself and know that you did the best that you could within your ability at that time.
Yes. Yes.
And
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah. Brenda says that's a hard one for her as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a hard one for all of us. It took me a long time, or not even a long time. Every time we do make mistakes, or do something, um, even now when we're healed or successful, that's human nature. We tend to beat ourselves and kick our ass, and oh, why did I do that, and da da da. And so it's normal. It's dwelling and staying in that state. So yes, try to do is whatever it is that you can. Again, these steps are amazing. Be mindful of what happened, why did it happen, and you're older and wiser, right? It's how the saying goes. So, and then you start applying them, and yeah, you talk to yourself, you talk to that little girl, you talk to that teenager, and you talk to that adult, young lady, and it was okay. It's okay. You did it. You overcame it. You're here. You're better. Look at your kids. Look at your life. Look, focus on the positive, on the blessings, on how hard you work, So again, they tell me that I'm very forgetful. I know I'm very forgetful. So I am very grateful for that, because I honestly think it helps me forgive faster, because I'm like, oh, that was in the past. What happened? Or if it's something that really hurt me and it is there and it's triggered, um, I'm like, oh, it's so long ago, and look where they are, and look where I am, and so I look at all those things and I go right back to, it's okay, it's okay. I forgive myself.
Mm-hmm. I think I spoken to my kids because for many years I didn't, for just past things. And I had a conversation with my son yesterday, who's going to be 31, my baby. And we went back to when I separated from his father and he was 10. He told me at 20 that he was just getting over it. And that thought for some reason just was like floating through my mind. It was dancing across my thoughts today. So I reached out and I apologized again. And he's like, Mom, it's okay. I understand why you did it now. And he's going to be 31. And for some reason, I felt the urge that I had to speak to him about it again because el dolor duele, eso duele. And, he's taking care of his dad and everything. But I, the forgiveness, sometimes with your kids, I just think that, we did, Lillian, we did do the best we had at the time with the little, we didn't have guidance. We didn't have guidance the way the kids today have guidance. The way we are with our children and now that they're adults. But I think too, you're right, Francia. It's okay because they survived and we still have a relationship and we can still talk about it now with, no angry words and that's what life is. It's about being okay with it and speaking about it, though. You have to have the communication.
Yeah. And the sooner the better, and it's hard. But again, same thing. My kids are in their 20s and we had, like you guys know, some hard conversations and, and discussions. And here I am thinking, right? I forgave myself. I moved on. And they're like, Mom, but this. And you're like, oh, you guys bringing that back?
Because you got to teach them how to forgive.
Exactly. So then that's when we come in and apply, right? And talk to them and communicate. And this is how I got over it. I went to therapy. I want you to try it. Try therapy. Let's try therapy. Family therapy. Talking. My kids just now here on vacation, again, pour their heart out to me. And on positive note, so I'm like, they're doing it. They're actually expressing themselves, crying and talking about their problems, what's hurting them, what's, their struggles. And I'm like, thank you so much for being so brave to talk about it. Thank you for letting me know you're not okay. I don't want you to ever sit and dwell or hold on to hot coal, right? That toxic negativity and negative thoughts. Don't. I want you to talk to me. I want you to talk to anyone. So I'm very proud of them for that. And definitely you have to let your kids express themselves.
Well, and it starts by forgiving yourself. So
yes,
that is hard.
And teaching them how to forgive.
Read the comments, ladies.
Yes,
I can't read the comments because I'm on my phone. So
for well, we had
commenting. Thank you.
Yes, Brenda and Lily have commented, and when we mentioned that forgiving yourself was a hard one, Lily said that is a hard one, and Brenda said absolutely that's a hard one for her as well.
Yes.
So yes, we are reading the comments. Thank you, everybody that's commenting. We appreciate the interaction. And the last one, live intentionally. You will accept and love yourself more, whatever is happening in your life, when you live with purpose and design. Do not live by default, live by design. You create your life. Your purpose doesn't have to be crystal clear to you. If your intention is to live a meaningful and healthy life, you will make decisions that support this intention. And feel good about yourself when you succeed in the purpose. You will love yourself more if you see yourself accomplishing what you set out to do. You need to establish your living intentions to do this. And I can say on this phone call right now, the smiling faces, we are living by design, the three of us, and not by default. And we will be happy to help you live by design as well.
Yes. That's definitely one of
Absolutely.
my favorite words now.
We have the
And
experience. We have the experiences. We have the heart, and we have the
the
armor
willingness.
to go into battle and save as many powerful women from their I negative thinking, from their
Yeah.
the thoughts that have not
Wherever they're if they're in a
fully
dark place.
blossomed.
Yes. And yes, the word intentionally, is definitely one of my favorite words, and I preach it a lot because it's. I mean, it is what it is. If you do something with intention, you know exactly what you want out of it. You know exactly, the outcome, and you just follow the steps. And again, you make a decision, the universe opens doors. The right people come to you. The doors start opening. It's just amazing how grateful and intention, it's definitely things that you need to apply when making decisions.
And that is Ajusta tu Corona's mission. We will hold the doors open for you. All you need to do is walk through.
Come. We give hugs. Heart
Well,
to heart
Heart to heart.
hugs.
virtual ones right now.
And
Here's a
that's what
virtual
it's
one
about.
for you.
It's like the old refrain. You can take a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. And
Mhm.
that's not what we do. Love is not forced. Self-respect is not forced. It is earned
Brenda
from
gave us a
yourself.
virtual hug.
I know.
It is gracia. I feel it. It is granting yourself permission to live in your truth. And when you say, even if you say that as an affirmation every day, I deserve this. I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to reach out to Ajusta tu Corona. I'm going to reach out to some ladies that can guide me. And that's what the platform is about. Is to help everyone evolve. Those who need to evolve and blossom into the beautiful gardens that they were meant to be. They need to remember, though, that in order to do that, they have to be the gardener of their life.
Yes.
You have
Mhm.
to brush that old dirt out and put some new ones in and spread the seeds and cultivate it and water it and speak to it beautiful words so that it
Yes.
grows into the beautiful garden of your dreams. And that is you, mi gente. You
Mhm.
water yourself, you feed yourself correctly, you tend to yourself. You go and you make friends with Lillian and you go with her to her massage and spa days. And you do all of that. And
She's been to
before
a
you
few of
know
them.
it,
That's why she says that.
Yes.
and before
But
you know it,
definitely,
your garden is blossoming. But it's up to
yeah,
you. We
you
can present you a platform.
exactly. You evaluate yourself in your life. You take a moment every day to say, where am I? What do I want? Where am I going? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then start applying, then start writing those things down. And whatever it is that wherever you want to go, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, just start saying you're already there. You already are. I am, right? I am. I can't even get it. I am whatever it is you want to be. Not just my drinking cup. I
Just
am.
say, just you know what? Just believe. You gotta believe in yourself. If you
Yes.
believe in God, you must believe in yourself because God is in everything. You are part of Him. He is a part of you. So you
Yes.
cannot say that you are faithful. You believe in God and then leave yourself last. What gratitude are you showing our Creator by not taking care of yourself?
Mhm.
And
I want
that's
to read
that's
a
the key.
comment.
God is in everything. Go ahead.
I want to read a comment from Lily. And She said, boy, am I glad I'm listening to you guys tonight, because I had an issue for a while, which I've been thinking about, that I need to forgive myself, but also ask for forgiveness. And I think it's time. And I've known Lily for many, many, many years. And we happen to be, brought up under this strict religion. And one of the things that they used to teach us at church all the time was that God is a forgiving and loving God. But I don't know where
That's
the
the New
friction
Testament.
where the friction lies, that at the same time we felt guilty about everything we did. God is a loving God, but we felt guilty, or we felt chastised over every decision or everything that we did. So, Lily, this is for you. Let it go. Love yourself. Let it go.
Forgive yourself. And yes, asking for forgiveness is also very hard. And if you feel in your heart it's time, do it. Do it, because you're going to feel better. Two, if they forgive you and everything is fine, is good, but you will feel better because you did it.
Mm-hmm.
You came clean and you said, I asked for forgiveness.
Do it for you. You matter. You is important.
Absolutely.
You is
For
strong. And if you do
You're
it
awesome.
for you,
You are beautiful.
yes.
And then turn it around every morning and say, I am awesome. I am beautiful. I am deserving. I am enough. Ladies, we know how that goes.
That, and you become the role model to your children and your grandchildren. I have my oldest granddaughter, amazing with me. She watches what I do. She listens to what I say, and she's like my biggest fan. And Lillian knows. She FaceTime me just to show me stuff, and that's because when you love yourself, it's like you have this energy just coming out. Now, when I say love yourself, you're not gonna walk like you're perfect, because I still have problems with my chichos. I still have let me hide my caderas. That's not saying you don't love yourself. That's just reminding yourself you got things to work on. But
Yes.
it's okay, because we're human, right? But you emanate such vibrancy when you love yourself, that your children and your grandchildren and your partner, they all feel that, and they feel in a safe space because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loving yourself means is knowing who you are. Is evaluating yourself. Again, it's saying, okay,
All the time.
if I love myself enough to know that I've put on 20 pounds, and I am truthful to myself, and I know what I need to do because I want to be healthier. It's not looking in the mirror and, oh, you're this, you're that, all negative. No, it's acknowledging what you want, how you want to look, how you want to feel, and knowing that you can do it, and doing it, and becoming it.
I'm sorry. Lily wrote, let's not talk about chichos, and we'll be here all night.
7?
No, chicos.
But she meant chichos.
Oh, chichos. Oh, chichos. There you go. She corrected herself. I was like, chicos.
I'm sorry, Margarita.
Funny.
We did all 7, and the bottom line is, this is a prescription of 7 steps to self-love. But it doesn't mean that you have to do every single one of them. Even if you pick just a couple of them and you begin to accept and love yourself more, just imagine how much more you'll appreciate yourself, knowing that you've accomplished 1 or 2 of them. Then once you accomplish 1 or 2 of them, then you're going to want to work on the rest of them.
Right. And like I said, and they pretty much in order for a reason too. It's work on one, work on number 1. And again, it becoming mindful is evaluating everything, observing everything, everyone, and yourself.
Change
That's
your
becoming
thoughts, change your life.
Yes, just start with one. And as soon as you start becoming mindful of who's around you, why am I doing this, my habits, their habits, my environment, then you will move on. Then you move on to 2.
Yeah. And
3,
once
4.
you know what the most beautiful thing about it is it's once you start to do it, it starts to reflect in other people. They're like, wow, she's changed, she's loving her, so I want to do what she's doing, or I want to have whatever drink she's having.
I don't know about you ladies, but the whole Facebook, how people so negative, and Facebook is so negative. Like, again, to me, Facebook is for me to admire others, what they're doing right. For me, it's from Facebook, like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's same thing. It's like being around, your people and doing your everyday life, your work life, everything. It's like you start noticing what people are doing, and it's like, if that's something that you admire, people are looking at you and admiring you. So definitely keep doing what you're doing, because if it's right, people will not copy. They're not copying you. Is that you're doing something right that everyone, should be doing. Being kind to yourself, to others, walking with confidence,
Absolutely.
I think, or Margarita, I thought it was frozen. I thought you were frozen.
She was for a minute.
Oh, okay. Or she's deep in thought.
I see you blinking. Are you frozen?
I think her connection.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
And I think, you know what? It's the people's perspective. I think, people will see negativity in beautiful things and vice versa. I think if you are authentic and unapologetically courageous in your own life and in your own right, it doesn't matter what people say. People can tell me so and so's this, and I'm still gonna talk to so and so because it's a relationship I'm building with her. If they say Facebook is negative and Instagram is all about showing ass, I'm gonna go on it and I'm gonna pick and view the ones that I like, because there's something for everybody. And
oh my God!
Fail to realize
there's filters everywhere.
I never heard that.
And if you stay in your own lane, guess what? You're not gonna run into traffic, right? Stay in your lane. Keep your eye on the goal, and your goal, and that's what you're working towards. El que hace fulana y no hace fulano, that's not your business. And that's where we get caught up in the negativity, and we stop ourselves short, 5 minutes away from our blessing. But again, it's like Lillian said, and Lillian tells us all the time, it's a mindset. Change your mind, you change your life. Follow what you want to do and not what the masses are doing, because the M is silent most of the time. And if you do that, guess what? You are, then you pick yourself up and you start again. It's nobody else's fault. And I think that's the tools we want to put out there. And we're all going to lay them out differently. And I think that the empowerment of lifting women of all walks of life, of teaching them that it is okay to say, I'm not doing the laundry today because I'm going to go get my nails done. Go.
That's right.
Wonderful.
And a wonderful tribe. Accountability. Mm-hmm. One friend, a couple friends, or a tribe.
My girls are slowly going into darkness over there. It must be nighttime wherever they're located. I have my bright light flashing on my forehead. For those of you that came on late, I just want to reiterate how I started this live stream. We are a movement of cultivation. Our platform is to assist people of adversity, to cultivate self-esteem, leading to self-love, by teaching them to believe that there is a bigger and better life after trauma. We plan on teaching levels of growth, boosting self-esteem buried under trauma. As I stated before, we are now going to go to a private platform for those of you who need confidentiality and want to meet in a smaller group instead of having our events this public. We will still come back to the main page when we have things to share. And possibly some of our students who have moved on to the next step in life. I personally appreciate everyone that attended this evening. I want to thank you for joining this platform. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen. And I definitely want to thank you for interacting with us this evening.
Yes, thank you guys.
Margarita, we can't hear you. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you.
I think her connection's a little off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
No me escuchan, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so all I wanted to say is thank you to those who came on and shared us, because I saw somebody shared. Thank you for inviting us into your moment to listen to us. We are grateful. I am La Margarita, and I'm very appreciative.
Yes. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Lily.
Buenas noches.
Yes.
Good night, ladies. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Namaste.